So there are a lot of companies which are moving to UAE. There are a lot of companies who are starting up in UAE, but little do every investor know what are the compliances which they need to adhere to in the UAE. Today I have with me Janvi, who's a business consultant, and Shilpa, head of business setup, which has an overwhelming experience about the compliances in UAE. And the most important is the two compliances which often are getting missed, but are fairly the most important compliances which can have some of the penalties as well. So we'll talk about GoAML and ESR today. First of all, we'll start with GoAML, what exactly it is. So Shilpa, what is GoAML?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Heyman, for bringing us over here to provide the overview of the perspective of GoML and ESR. These are some of the important factors in UAE for the business houses and the business entities who are there in UAE. First of all, why it's important that we need to understand, it creates reliability, credibility on the businesses, those who are performing their businesses within UAE, and they have entities within UAE and outside also they are doing the work for their businesses. Now let's understand what is GoAML. So especially when the businesses they receive certain transactions or amount in their bank account, it is very important what is the source of that income and from which business or from which particular segment you have received that income. So if it is a hefty amount or the huge transactions that you have received in your bank which doesn't have any legitimate source of proof, then it becomes very important that you need to understand what is the source of that income.
Okay. So you mean to say in a nutshell, GoML is a platform where you need to report the right transactions, and it is built by the government, and the businesses need to adhere to that. So this is the first thing why it is built. Now my question is, when we say we need to report these kind of things, we need to make sure that we are dealing with the right parties. That's what the goal of the financial intelligence unit, which is behind GoML, is. Why it is so important for us as a business to identify the right parties which we are working with and doing the right transactions with them.
Absolutely. See, whether you are a big business house or you are a small scale business house, it's very important that you understand the nitty gritty part of it. Because knowingly or unknowingly, you are dealing with your clients, customers. And sometimes or many times you don't understand, from where you're receiving those money. Maybe I will just take the example of real estate brokers. You are dealing in the real estate market, you are dealing with the brokers. Now, from which particular, market or which particular businesses or activity you are receiving that income, maybe you might not know the another party or the another person. So it becomes very important and, to identify the legitimate source of that income to understand that overall perspective.
So if this is something which is you really think that it is just because government is doing for the sake of doing it, or you really see that it really matters for the business as well to adhere to these compliances, and it creates a much better environment and credibility for that business.
Absolutely. It is not just for the sake of doing it. Government is taking huge steps to make that trustworthiness and the credibility in the market so that people become confident enough to operate their businesses in UAE. Because you being an individual, you are completely new to the market or doing the businesses in the market, you are dealing with foreign investors as well. So if you are compliant and you are adhere with the rules and regulation, then it gives you another level of confidence to do the business.
Janvi, when we mention about businesses in real estate, what do you think there are some other businesses as well which require this GoML compliance, and why?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. Like you guys rightly said, apart from real estate, one of the major businesses who deals in hefty amounts and who deals in big transactions is gold and diamond trading. In UAE, gold and diamond trading is one of the businesses that everyone tries to do and everyone wants to do. So this is another very important business that needs to be registered with GoAML.
So I think you rightly mentioned everybody wants to do and everybody is trying to do. There is certain free zones which are directly for the gold and diamond itself. We have DMCC and we have gold and diamond park. So this is the hub. UAE is the hub for gold and diamond. But when it comes to compliances, it is also important. So why GoML is important for these kind of companies, except that there is hefty transactions which are happening.
Okay, so like Shilpa rightly mentioned, GoML is important, first of all, to build that trust with your stakeholders, to build that trust with your clients. If you're not registered with GoML, then there is a huge chance that, they think that you are doing illegal financing activities. You need to be registered with GoML so that you're legally monitored by the government, and also you can build that trust and relation with your clients.
So that's what I wanted to hear from you, that it's not just about having hefty amounts which is coming to your bank account, to create a level playing field and to make your customers understand that you are registered for everything which is required by the law, which creates a level playing field. So government is not creating things just for the sake of creating it. They are creating because there is a reason, and they want to build that level of investors trust in the UAE. So this was more or less about GoML, which we were able to cover. So I'll just summary up. So GoML is a software, a watchdog by the Financial Intelligence Unit of UAE, which monitors specific business activities, in which we discuss mainly two. One is real estate and one is gold and diamond. These companies need to adhere with GoAML. They need to file for STR. They need to screen their customers on daily basis for which they are dealing with. So this is very important. Otherwise, there are some penalties. And as Dhanguard, we are able to help them. The next thing is ESR, a well-known thing. I was recently in India where I discuss a lot of things with the CA community, the ICAI community of India, where there is a concept called POEM as well, Place of Effective Management. Their ESR, which is launched in UAE also in recent years, is a big initiative for the UAE government, in which they are making sure that investor trust is built in UAE. So what is ESR, Janvi, and how it works out?
So, ESR is basically first economic substance regulation. Now, what it actually means is that your operation, your business is actually being held in UAE. I'll give you an example. I had a client who are registered here in UAE, but they're doing business all over outside. So they're just registered here for the sake of having a business in UAE, but they're not actually doing any business. They just want the tax benefits and everything. So ESR ensures that if you have a business registered in UAE, you're doing the business here. You have majority of stakeholders or majority of the invoices, income is generated through UAE. So for that, ESR is very
Wow,
important.
very importantly mentioned. Thank you for that. It's the precise definition of ESR what I've heard in so many years, that you cannot just use UAE company for the invoicing purpose only and moving the money here and there. You really need to generate substance in the UAE by income, by having employees, by having operations. That's the fairly most important thing. Anything to add on that, Shilpa?
Yeah, surely. See, it gives you additional credit worthiness, I would say, to the companies who are there. It's just not that you are a shell company. You are particularly a company who gives a credit worthiness to your, customers. And again, the trust factor is always there.
So what are the activities which are covered under ESR?
Okay, so like we discussed in GoML, similar activities who were dealing with hefty amounts, be it gold and diamond trading, real estate, but also small businesses as well. It is not only about hefty amounts of transactions, but small businesses also needs to be registered with ESR, because there are chances that, like I said, they're registered here but doing business outside. So all types of these companies need to be registered with ESR.
And in addition to that, ESR basically, the word itself, substance, that you have a substance regulation over here, which means you are just showing up your office, you have employees. So you are mentioning each and everything about your business. So I believe that it's correct in place. And from the government initiative side, it's truly, something which you have to adhere with, and you have to do it for the sake of, your good business, that you are doing the good.
Well, I have always sitting with a lot of compliance heads of different institutions. They give me a very important thing, that businesses who take this as a fear rather than should take this as a selling point for their company, that they are well compliant. I think Dhangar takes one. We are ISO compliant as well, and it's a proud thing for us that an external body is coming to Dhangar every quarter. Every month we maintain report for ISO. It's not mandatory in UAE. we took that leap that we want to be compliant, we want to be certified, we want to run our governance in the right way. So it gives you a credibility. Now a lot of customers see us as a brand, and that's because we do things in that way. So that was all about GoAML and ESR. How can we do it? The first thing is go register on GoAML. Second, file your ESR time to time and be compliant with UAE.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you so much.